Welcome to Inside the Soundwave Internet TV Show, live from the beaches of Indian, Florida, where all of your local musicians get to tell their music story, from the beginning to the present. And now, here's your host, Mr. Soundwave.
It's cool. I love that shirt. I love that shirt. Spanks.
That one?
Spanks over there behind me on the eye. Oh, welcome to the show. I knew you were there. You don't keep on by me. Welcome. Hey, I was in the vocal booth yesterday doing voiceovers. Welcome to the Inside the Soundwave Internet TV Show with show host Will Spatafora. Oh, Will Spatafora. My guest tonight is the incredible drummer for Spanks, Tim Snell.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for being on the show.
About incredible, but thank you.
No, incredible. You guys were here about a month ago, and I'm still so impressed.
Thank you
with
very
the
much.
Sound and the talent you three have.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Really good band.
Thank you.
I'll say it. I don't think they get enough recognition here in Brevard County, and
that's kind of you.
I really do. They did 2 hours, 2 sets, and they did a great job. I don't think we blew any. Did we blow a fuse that night?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Third or fourth song in, we lost it there for a minute.
Yeah, we did. There was a lot of devices running. A lot of equipment was running.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. You wouldn't think so since we don't have amps on stage, but we have lots of stuff going on. So
that's remarkable. Is that Mike's contraption?
Oh yeah.
Type thing?
Oh yeah.
Or is Chris?
Mike pretty much got started, but
Chris is pretty into
Chris is into that too, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just the drummer. So.
Boy,
I know a lot of musicians.
Two drummers here tonight.
Right, yeah.
I love having drummers on as a guest. A couple weeks ago was Adam Hagerman.
Yeah, I saw that. It was good.
A good drummer right there too. I tell you what, get off that camera, would you? Thank you. There you go.
Get the scary guy in there, right?
Yeah, I don't like that kid. He always does that. He goes, I'm going to give. That's a cool shot.
Yeah.
Anyways, tonight we're going to talk about Tim. Tim Snell, the drummer for Spanks for quite a few years.
Quite a few, yeah.
How many?
20-something. 20, I think 84, 85 the band started. But I mean, it's been called Spanks. It's really been a lot of different bands, over the years. It's changed drastically 5 or 6 times. So.
But still, 20, that's a
long time.
Quite a feat.
Yeah. Well, it was actually, it was another band that turned into Spanks. So it was actually, you could stay together longer. But everybody that was in the band that eventually became Spanks was gone, which is why we changed the name. So,
25. That's a while. I mean, I've seen drummers around here in bands go a couple years, 3 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a band over there that I'm going to go play for them.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's one over there.
Yeah, July 1st was 7 years as is.
Huh?
7 years with Chris and Mike and I.
Oh, 7 years with the
beginning of July. So 7 years and 2 months now.
But you've known each other for
longer. Mike and Chris played together many years ago in a band called Falcon.
Right.
When Chris first moved down here.
Right.
So
I remember talking to Chris back in, I think it was January, when we were upstairs in the studio.
Right, yeah.
We were cramped in up there.
Yeah, it was hot too. It's not hot now. It's nice here.
And I think you were on the end. Were you sitting on the end?
I didn't remember.
I forgot.
I was in the middle. Mike was on the end.
So, we have Tim tonight from the band Spanks. And if you're in Brevard County, and if you've been here any length of time, you should know who Spanks is. Everybody knows the band. They play quite a bit. Pretty busy band.
Yeah,
really.
We stay pretty
busy.
busy.
Stay pretty busy. And they play all kinds of venues, right?
Yeah, just about everywhere.
Just about.
Any place we can.
Yep. And you have an agent?
No. Well, years ago we used agents, but
now you book yourselves.
pretty much all three of us book gigs. So that's one reason it's easier to stay busy, because we're not relying on one person
Right.
to do it all.
That's
so.
good, because when you go somewhere and you say Spanks band, Spanks, they pretty much know that name.
Yeah, a lot of times, yeah. We run into people occasionally that haven't seen us in years, and they think it's that version of Spanks that they saw, and they come and they're just completely shocked because it's nothing like they thought it was. It's
Right.
something completely different.
Yep, that's great. All right, drum question.
Uh-oh.
First one of the night. Give me the name of the drum set. First drum set you had.
First drum set I
What
had.
brand was it?
God, I don't even know. It was some piece of junk that I bought from some guy who he wanted it at auction for $3, and I paid him $50 for it. Had wooden lugs on it. It had some kind of Formica crap on it. And I pulled all that crap off of there and put flowered contact paper on it.
On it?
Yeah.
Where was this?
Here in Palm Bay, I think I got my first kit in like 68 or 69.
Palm Bay.
Yeah. I wish I had that
Wait a
kit.
minute.
I wish I had that kit.
No. Palm Bay in 68?
Yeah, 68, 69. I moved here in 66. So.
You have, that's got to be an experience, just seeing that drastic change from Palm Bay 68 to now.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was emptiness, wasn't there?
yeah.
There was a lot of streets with nothing.
Yeah, I was just saying on the way up here to Casey that it was like all these places were not here. This was woods. This was not a park. This was, that used to be something else.
Because even back in the 90s, Palm Bay was nothing like it was now. And even 97, I remember when I first went down to Palm Bay.
Right.
It doesn't look anything like it does now.
When I moved here, it was dirt roads past the overpass on Malabar Road. That was all woods. There was no houses or anything out there, and all the major roads were 2-lane.
That's incredible.
So
a first drum kit was in Palm Bay, and you don't remember the brand.
No, 68 or 69. It was just some hybrid hunk of junk thing that I was just so glad to have. It was like,
5-piece, 4-piece?
No, it had one mounted tom, and it had the mount was one of those that slid like a bass drum pedal slides on the bottom. The mounted tom slid on and screwed onto the bass drum.
Oh, it had a bracket on.
Yeah, a little
on the back.
bracket on there. Yeah,
on there they had a cymbal stand they used to have on those two that used to.
Yeah, I didn't have that though. It was just I don't even remember what kind of cymbals I had. My dad took me to get my first real drum set. It was a Rogers kit, but I had a couple more after that. My sister had bought me a kit once called, I remember it was a La Boz, whatever that is, capital L-A, capital B-O-Z. And it was just a flat black kit, small kit, typical La Boz.
L-A-B-O-Z?
Yeah. And it was it was a basic Ringo Starr setup,
One tom and then one floor tom.
One tom, one floor tom, hi-hat, one ride and one crash, which came later, of course. I didn't get the crash right away. I cut a lot of grass for that one, You didn't get those. Dad didn't just go out and buy those for you. Although he did get my first real good kit after he realized that, he's going to do that. This is what he wants to do. He took me to Orlando, and we went to Orlando Discount, which was, at that time, at the corner of Orange and 50. Back there. I think it's an insurance place now or something, but went and got my first kit. It was a Rogers kit. You remember them? They're not around anymore.
Oh no, Rogers. They made a good kit.
Yeah, it was a nice kit.
I remember
I paid $400 for that with the cymbals even, and they were all Zildjians too, no less. For $400. That was a long time ago.
When was that?
Oh,
in the 80s?
that would have been like
70s?
72.
$400 back then was quite a bit of money.
Yeah, it went a long ways. I know. Yeah. So you're not going to ask me about how I got the bug to play. So.
Yeah, well,
well,
if you're for 68, was your first kid when you were in Palm Bay.
When I was a little boy, I had a teenage sister who was like 8, 9 years older than me. So I'm like 4 or 5 years old, and there's a radio on all the time, you know. And my parents, nobody played music, but there was music, all kinds of music going on. I mean, my parents would listen to Chuck Berry. They would listen to Hank Williams, Tennessee Ernie Ford, the Beatles, you name it. Bill Haley and the Comets,
Fabian.
Bo Diddley, Fabian, yeah, all of those artists. I mean, they played that stuff all the time. I remember Turn Me Loose. Remember that song?
Yes.
God, I heard that about 5,000 times. My dad liked that one, you know. So, but yeah, you know, I was around it at a very early age. I mean, hits on the radio were like I can remember my sister playing like Vacation by Connie Francis and King of the Road by Roger Miller, and that's like
King of the Road they used to play.
1960, I would say.
Yeah.
Was it really kind of?
I remember that.
You know, and as she got older, it was like, can I go here?
Trailer for sale.
Take him.
Rent.
Take him. You can go, but you got to take him. So I mean, I got to see a lot of great bands when I was really young. So I got the bug, kind of. You know.
No, wait a minute. You got to see a lot. You were here in Florida then?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, were you born in Florida?
No, I was born in Baltimore.
Okay.
And until I was like 12 or 13, I mostly lived in Europe. My dad was military. So, I mean, and that's what we were there when the Beatles were, you know, before they came here and had their big thing. We were already kind of, you know, we were already advanced Beatle fans, you know.
Yeah, you already knew about them
yeah.
more than we did over here.
Right. Yeah. I remember walking home from school, my mom used to say, well, you used to pass that music store, and you'd stop and you wanted that Ringo Starr drum set. You know, I was probably 7, 8 at the time. She said, you know, I'm always sorry I didn't buy that for you. And I said, you know, Ma, I'm kind of glad you didn't, you know, because, I mean, maybe you would have killed that desire a little bit, you know, because I knew a couple buddies got drum sets, you know, and they sat in the corner and we used to hide behind them and throw beer coasters at each other and play hide and seek, you know. Nobody ever played them except me, because I didn't have one. So I was kind of like, this is cool, man. And I get in there and try to play. Of course, I couldn't, but I did the best I could do, you know. Mostly with that, don't bring that Snell kid over here again. He's going to play those drums. Jesus Christ.
But those drums are over in the corner, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Always over in the corner.
So when did you actually, what age did you say, I'm a drummer?
Well, I said that before I had a drum set. I was a drummer.
Okay,
but I started playing drums in junior high school. So they gave you some pitch test, and they asked you, you know, if you did really well, they wanted you to play saxophone. And I did really well on the pitch test, and I said, drums, or I'm not going to be in the band. So they piled me back with the other 14 boys that wanted to play drums, you know. But most of those kids, you know, they lost interest and they were gone by
like 65, 66, maybe?
67. I'd say 67 because that was junior high. 67, 68, 60. Then I was in marching band and orchestra, and I played marimba. I mean, I played a lot of percussion, you know, different stuff, and learned to read. So that was good.
Was that in Baltimore?
No, that was here. I hardly lived in Baltimore. I mean, I was born and left, pretty much, you know.
Just like me in Boston, born and left.
Yeah, I was there from 1 to 2, and then again from 4 to 5 or something like that, and then boom, back to Europe again. We weren't ever there very long. Oh, I did live in Michigan for about 9 months while my dad was stationed in Korea. Went and lived with my mother's family there.
Nice and cold.
Nice and cold, yeah. Not bad when you're my age, though, because it's snow.
Yeah, back then,
oh, boy.
In Massachusetts, we used to get a lot of snow.
So I did get the honor of going to the, it's called the Woodstock of the South in 1968. There was a speedway down in West Palm Beach. I can't remember the guy's name, Rupp or something like that owned it. And it was called the Woodstock of the South after the fact. But that's another one of those deals where...
In 68?
68, August of 68. That was another one of those deals. You want to go? Take him. So, I mean, I went. We saw, like, the original Iron Butterfly, Country Joe and the Fish. Saw Grand Funk. Never heard of them before.
Oh,
saw them.
You saw
and they blew me away.
Oh, they were one of my favorites.
Yeah, I saw them about 9 times, you know. I liked them. And
Danny Brewer.
King Crimson.
Drummer.
I saw the original King Crimson. 3 days in a row they played. And no one had ever heard of Mellotron before, you know. So it kind of blew people away. We're all sitting there, and the Mellotron starts, and everybody's going, it's almost taking your breath away because nobody had heard anything like that before. You know, and Johnny Winter played, Janis Joplin played, Edgar Winter played.
That was a pretty big event.
Yeah, it was real big. Rolling Stones closed it out, you know.
Wow, jeez.
And I saw, you know, some of the artists that probably some people wouldn't care about, but I thought was really cool that I got to see were like Minnie Riperton was there with a band she was in before she became famous called Rotary Connection. There were a bunch of bands like that, and the local favorites like Purple Underground at the time.
Right here in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Melbourne Civic Auditorium used to be like, I mean, you'd be surprised the people that have played there.
Municipal? You mean
yeah? Oh yeah.
One on Hibiscus?
Yeah, I mean that used to be like a big. I mean there
big
was
venue?
for bands.
I heard the Beach Boys or somebody's come there.
The Who played there.
Yeah, the Who
the Yardbirds played
yep.
there. Deep Purple, the original. I saw the original Deep Purple
right here
there.
on Hibiscus.
Yeah, I saw the Blues Magoos in their electric suits.
Blues Magoos, I haven't heard of that.
In their electric suits, no less.
Oh my
you know?
God, the Blues Magoos.
I can say this stuff because I was a real little kid. You know, my sister had to drag me along. Otherwise, you know, if it wasn't for her, I would have never seen half of that stuff. You know,
that's great. The Blues Magoos.
Yeah.
What's the song they had?
Oh gosh, it's
Come on,
on the
Joey,
tip of
who
my
was
tongue.
Yeah.
That was a great tune, man.
Yeah, now I know. I remember them.
Hey, my first paying gig was at the metal building over there on, what's that, Wickham? Is that Wickham? Minton. That metal building there at Rhodes Park. My first paying gig was in that building when I was real young.
Boy, they must have, wow.
5 guys, we got $75. I was hooked.
They had to be sparse out there, too. There was probably not half the homes.
Oh, no. Probably not. I don't remember. But that's kind of an old neighborhood out there.
Yeah.
You know, probably the park wasn't very built up, but I don't remember. I just remember playing there and making $75 and splitting it 5 ways and thinking, wow, I cut 5 yards for this. This is great. You know? So, and that building's still there, and that you know, it kind of brings a little smile to my face when I pass that. That's a good memory, you know. And who was in that band? John Quinn Levin's older brother Pat was in that band with me, and his buddy Mike Armstrong. He played guitar, and they sort of brought me in under their wing because they were much older than I was, you know. Wow. So they were the really cool guys, you know.
Yep. We got a lot more. Don't go away. We're gonna watch a Spanks video right now. I'm trying to think of the name of that video. Sunset July. Sunset July.
Oh yeah, I like that song. 311.
Spanks. Sunset July. Watch the video. We'll be right back with more of Tim Snell from Spanks, the drummer, right here. Watch. ya.
See,
I can't see it. It's all white out. Heck is with that. He did something to the cameras. He's not telling me what he did, but it looks. I hope it's better. I hope what you people are looking at is better than what we're looking at on the screen because.
Are you saying I'm ugly?
No, Tim and I look like we've been in a flower.
How do you do that?
We were in a flower pot, you know, not cooking flour, you know, the flour. Not. Anyways, now we look better. What did you do to these cameras?
He took me off the screen. That's why.
Yeah,
you look better.
See what he does? He puts my camera on. See, that's my camera over there. Hi.
Camera
All
C,
right.
camera B.
Back. Do the back camera. Oh, he's awake.
He is awake. That's a good thing.
That's a nice one. I like that. There's another back camera.
Yeah. You can see the back of my new haircut there.
Yeah, look at the style this guy's got. Look, oh, not me, huh? Look at this. Tim went and got his haircut today?
That's right. No, it was a couple days ago. 2 days ago. You know the rule. I told you the rule, right?
Yep.
It's Casey's mom cuts my hair, and when I start to look like Ben Franklin, I get a haircut. So I guess I started to have that look. I was going colonial, so it was time to fix that.
I love that. That's great. Oh my gosh. All right, we've got to get back to the 80s. We'll skip the 70s.
Okay, yeah, the 70s. We covered that already before we went on the show. So
Because it was a disco thing involved in there.
yeah, so towards the 80s too. I mean,
yeah, they kind of slipped in a little bit there.
Well, we did. I will go through a brief 70s. We did went on the road a lot in the 70s. I mean, it was hardly ever home.
From Georgia to Massachusetts?
Georgia to Massachusetts to Ohio to Minnesota. I was going to sit down the other day and figure out how many states I played, and I got to say it's probably between 20 and 25 states, you know. I mean, we just went out and played wherever we could. And, I mean, I told you the story of going from Brunswick to Massachusetts. A lot of times it would be like Sunday, and the agent would call and say, well, get in the car and head west, and call me in an hour. And, you know, in the next 2 or 3 hours, we'd have a gig west of where we were.
West of where you were.
Right, yeah. So he would always turn something up, you know. So, and that's where we went.
That's good.
That was
a little
fun,
too far west.
Well, you know what? We were young, so, I mean,
Yeah.
we had no ties, no anything. Let's go. Let's do it. It was fun.
Gas wasn't too bad then. It was
40 cents a gallon. Well, awesome.
Yeah, it went from 18 to what? 80 or 40 or
40,
something?
18 to 40. It was outrageous. Can you imagine that? If it's 40 cents
that.
now?
I remember that.
Jeez, everybody would have 6 cars again, including me.
Bad. So, you did a lot of driving in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a van or a car?
Van. Had 2 vans, one for the keyboards and one for the rest of the stuff. Because you had a B3 and a couple of dollies, and it took up the whole van by itself. Plus, we had a keyboard player at the time that kicked pedals. So, you know, and he was good, too.
So, I mean, there was 2, so you,
Guitar?
like a caravan.
Yeah, we had a 2-band caravan kind of going along. In some of the gigs, like that Massachusetts gig, we'd start out in our shorts and end up in coats when we got there. We did that like we played in the Atlantic on a Sunday and played in Frankfort, Kentucky Monday night. It was like 80-something here, and we got up there, it was snowing. You know, so I mean, we started out in our shorts, and by the time we got there, we were wearing 3 shirts because we didn't have any coats. You know, we weren't expecting that.
Yeah, and when you went to Massachusetts, it was May.
Yeah, so it was still
So
chilly, but it wasn't.
It's not too bad.
It was. We could handle that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I tell you what I missed was Mott the Hoople played, while we were playing there, Mott the Hoople played on Broadway, and Queen opened for him. And we kept saying, you want to go? You want to go? Want to go? And we didn't go. And, it's the only time that Queen ever opened for anyone, ever. And we missed that. We had the opportunity to go.
Was Ian Hunter?
Yep. And the Eurus Room on Broadway.
They opened.
For Mott the Hoople, can you imagine that? On Broadway.
I remember the bass player in that band.
Overend Watts, or Overend Watts.
Mott the Hoople.
Yeah.
His platform shoes had to be, I can't describe them. They had to be 2 feet.
Yeah, real high.
Real high. He was already tall, and he wore these platform shoes, and he would walk around the stage with these platform shoes that were like 2 feet or 2.5 feet high.
Yeah.
But behind the
cooler than that, they were turquoise. Well, that was cool. Well, that was the coolest part, I wanted those.
Crazy, man. I remember them.
Yeah.
Wild. So you missed that. You were playing up there.
Yeah, that was in the 70s. I missed that.
And what about, when did you come back to Florida?
Off and on all the time,
Yeah.
I mean, back and forth, off and on. Went out on the road with several different bands. Even went on the road with Spanks a few times. And then towards the end of the road experience, we would play 4 weeks somewhere. And it was pretty regular. We would go to Ocala for 4 weeks, and then Gainesville for 4 weeks, and then, Fort Myers for 4 weeks.
Wow.
And then back here we played at Holiday Inn in Cocoa Beach.
You've done some serious playing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we, for 9 or 10 years there, 6 nights a week, almost constantly. So, hey,
man.
I came to play, man.
That's pretty serious.
Hey, what else you gonna do?
We never went 4 weeks anywhere like that. We'd go.
Oh yeah.
We'd do 3-4 days, and head back.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days. That was a wonderful week, having all that many days off. Because we never had that many days off very often.
Yeah, but you couldn't have traveled too far up north, because we were all up in north. January, February, December. It's zero.
Yeah, I know.
And we've got a lot of snow on the ground usually already back then.
Right.
And when you got a gig, you held on to the gig. You tried to stretch it for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're packing it up and going to another place right away.
Yeah.
It's no fun. It was no fun.
Yeah, we with the exception of December when we do Christmas parties and stuff, we would set up at the most 11 times a year, and we were pretty bad at it. Because, we never did it. So it was like, it's Monday, we got to play tonight. We better get there at 11 o'clock, and we'd be still, get there at 11, and we'd be setting up at 4 still, because we're no good at it, It's like, where are we going to put the lights? How are we going to hang the lights, I mean, it was bad.
Jeez.
But, it was a nice problem to have. Spanks.
It was Spanks. I mean, this isn't
by
the
then in the
before.
80s. In the 80s, it was Spanks. Yeah, that was by '83 we started. Started Spanks.
But what about prior to Spanks? What was the name of the band?
Different names. It's hard to remember. Sound Fusion, which is one, was the agent picked that. The American Gentleman we picked because we decided to have kind of an image, and we wore tuxedos every night. I'm probably one of the only guys in Brevard that had a blue rider tuxedo. You ever seen those? It's like a blue tuxedo, corduroyish looking. It had the Western style. We got them because the Allman Brothers had them, So we had to have those, Because they were way cool. They wore theirs on some New Year's Eve gig, and we saw pictures of that. I was like, oh, yeah, man, we got to get those. Got to have those.
Where'd you find them?
We got. There used to be a place in Rockledge that sold used tuxedos and men's wear and stuff, and we'd go there and buy, especially after prom, we'd stock up because you go there and get $200-300 coats for $40. So we'd go in and spend $200 or $300 a piece and get a week's worth of coats and stuff, and we'd be set,
Because that's funny. We used to wear it, like I told you, the ruffled shirts that would go underneath.
I had several of those and different colors too, man.
Pink and yellow, red.
Or like ecru with little black trim on the ruffles.
Right on the ruffle, they had black trim. Oh, I've seen one.
Yeah, we were styling, man.
That was a different time, boy.
Yeah, it was.
Big time. Great time, I thought.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a great time. You know what my one regret is staying up late and hanging out and partying so much. I mean, that was cool because there were a lot of musicians around, a lot of entertainers, and we hung out and everything. But, I mean, I was in all these cool places that I never really explored a lot. You know, like, I mean, we'd go on our day off and go to New York City from Pittsfield or Boston one day, you know, and stuff like that. But, I mean, like, we played gigs like, say, Dalton, Georgia. And if you're into like the Civil War, there's a whole lot of stuff around there. If you go like to the Chamber of Commerce and find out what's going on, but I mean that was all over the place, you know. And I wish I had done a little bit more of that. Like Fernandina Beach, there's a fort up there, nice. Fort Clinch. You ever been there? You know what that's about?
I think my father-in-law is from up there.
Yeah.
He's mentioned that.
Yeah, Fort Clinch is like in the bay there where the submarines come in. And we played there too. Met a bunch of Navy guys, and they took us on the submarines. That was cool. Got to tour a nuclear sub.
Nuclear.
Yeah, that's the southern way of pronouncing it now. It's nuclear, but nuclear. You know, that's how you pronounce it in the South. And even at Cocoa Beach here, man, when the British Navy would come in, you know, sometimes if they liked your band, man, you were in, you know, and they'd take you out and party, and their beer is a lot stronger than ours, you know, and they're just like, oh, he doesn't have a beer, you know, and they're like stuffing the beers down you. You're getting off the boat. I got a gig, man. I got to go. And it's like you're getting off the boat, and they're here, and they're handing you beer 6-packs to take with you and stuff. It was great. Wow. It was a fun time, you know.
That was the 80s.
That was the 80s, yeah. Yeah, I like the 80s, man. That was fun.
All right, what happened in the 90s?
Things kind of slowed down. I mean, we still played. We played all the time, you know. I mean, we never stopped playing because that's what we do, you know. So, I mean, but the 5 and 6 night thing went away, and it got to be a little bit more one-nighter related. First, it went kind of slowed down to weekends, you know, and then you got like 2 and 3 nights, and sometimes 4. Now it's pretty much one-nighters. Occasionally you get a weekend somewhere, but that's pretty much gone. You know, that's why if they legalize gambling, look out, boy. I'm going to find me a gig and park my stuff and get a pension plan, you know, at some casino somewhere. So, hopefully.
Yeah. It has changed a lot.
I know some people that had gone to play casino gigs and like on the riverboats and stuff, and they said it's like they got paid lots of money and never saw anybody come in the bar. No one ever came in, but they still got paid and they still played. I didn't want that to happen. I'd like to play. Hey, if I get to play, I'm happy, but it sure is a lot nicer to have an appreciative audience, you know.
Right.
So.
I know the keyboard player we had playing with us, Ian Little, he said he would go out on the cruise ships and he'd be gone for a month.
Yeah.
But they pay $1,000 a week, and you get your room and the
food and everything
else. But you're gone.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good money. And that's today, and that's now.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. You don't have to move the equipment.
I don't want to be away from my family that long. You know, if I can take them with me, I'll go, man. Take them with me, let's go.
We're going to take another short break. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about one question before we go to break.
Oh, okay.
Just quick. This is a catch.
All right, you're going to try to catch
How
me.
many gigs do you think you've played so far, right up
to today?
Yes.
God, thousands. You know, thousands. I mean, I played every week of my life since I got out of high school, just about from August on. You know, I mean, I had a break here and there and a week off here and there, but you can pretty much figure that every week since August of 1973, just about, virtually every week I played a gig, you know, of some kind.
No wonder you're so good. Great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Great band. Spanks Band, Tim Snell, right here. Watch the video. We'll be back with the final part of the show. Tim's going to tell us what's going on now with Spanks, and y'all need to hear this. Okay? Watch the video. There he is. Tim Snell from Spanks, good drummer, and I know you people have heard Spanks. Traveling band, boy, busy band. Tell the guys again. Tell everybody the members in the band.
Now, Chris Pearson, also known as Chris Dude, is our bass player and vocalist. Mike Gallagher is our guitar player and vocalist, and I'm Tim Snell on the drums and vocals. Yeah, all three of us sing.
That's great.
Kind of have to, and there's only three of you. And then there's Mike, who's like this extraordinary guitar player who uses the synthesizer in ways he just got a new toy too. Because we have this set that we've been doing. We said, okay, there's all these songs we can't sing because they're all in keys that we can't sing them in. So let's tune down. He tuned down his guitar to D so we could do them. Well, now he's got a pedal. So all he has to do is go and change the key. So now we don't have this one set of songs that we have to put all together because they're all D songs. We can intermingle them with the other sets now, and it's
with a push of a switch.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really neat. I'm so glad he got that. Because oddly enough, I didn't think about this, but I learned all these songs like Journey and Animal by Nickelback and Bad Girlfriend by Theory of a Dead Man and some other One Night Stand by Divide. All of them are like at the top of my range. So yeah, I can sing them, but they're all hard, So it's like a whole set where I don't ever really get a break, So now we can intersperse them with the other sets, and that's going to be nice. Bring a new sort of flavor to the whole thing.
So you guys mix it up so you each sing a song, or
we kind of
get stuck singing more than one at one time, like
no,
3 or 4 in a
because
row?
we'll start out. Mike sings the first one, Chris sings the second one, I sing the third one. We kind of keep that going pretty much until we start to get the feel for the audience, and then we'll just kind of play what we feel is going to work.
And I hear you call the shots.
Yeah, I call the songs, kind of. You could say that, but I mean, basically, Chris will turn around and say, Danny California, and I'll just go, yeah, okay. I mean, if that's what he wants to sing, and and I don't have like a flow or something, and it's like it works fine. Well, let's do it. That's what he wants to do, Yeah. Same with Mike. Mike turns around, and Mike a lot of times will start a song, But just we've got that kind of. We've been playing together 7 years, so
Yeah, you're all.
Yeah, I don't write out sets. I don't do that because 20 minutes from now, I don't know what's going to be going on. So how can I really write out a set? I mean, I would use it as a guideline. If I did, I wouldn't follow it, so to speak. But I don't even do that. We just kind of, and we still follow that route like a lot of other bands. It's kind of hard to keep it fresh, and like not do the same thing because certain things work. So you do them together. So you got to kind of try to break that occasionally, and so we do that. And we have so many songs that it's like. At the beginning of the night, Chris will say, "Hey, well, you need to do that Jimmy Eat World song." So I'll be thinking about that. Where am I going to throw that in? Because we haven't done that in ages, and so we try to do that so we don't lose.
So what do you think
tunes.
You got for repertoire? How many songs do you think you got?
I'd say on our normal repertoire over 100, but then there's probably at least another 100, 150 songs that you could say, "Hey, this one, okay." I mean, I don't really have to know it. I said, if there's no major kicks and it's a groove, I just kind of follow it. But if those guys know the changes, let's go. Mm-hmm. We go for it.
So people can come up to the band and just put some money in the tip jar and say, "Here, play this song for us."
Yeah, if we know it,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you do that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's like if you're in the third set and you're rocking. We're not going to do, something that doesn't really fit.
Right.
But, if you come up at the right time, we'll play whatever, it's at the right time. We're a cover band, I mean, we're not rock stars here. We're entertainers. That's what we do. Show business, 2 words. Show business, right? I had a great story. You'll love this. Like we're doing this gig, right? And this is back when we were talking about him earlier. Trevorton was in the band, right? We're playing at Gillies, Pub 44, right? Some guy comes up and he has Richard $50 and says, "Play Sitting on the Dock of the Bay." Richie goes, "I'm sorry, man. We don't know Sitting on the Dock." He comes back. He sits down. A couple minutes later, the guy comes back, hands him 2 50s and says, "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay." Richie says, "Dude, I'm sorry. We don't know the song." So about 5 minutes later, the guy comes back up. He's got like 350s. He says, sitting on the dock of the bay. Richie goes, doo 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 doo. He just starts playing. All of a sudden, he knew the song. He's, I'm for $150, it'll come to me, you know. And the other thing about it is he sang it too, which was funny because he was adamant about, I don't know the song, and he was genuine, you know. He wasn't trying to like just get out of doing it, because Richard's like a library of songs, you know. Right. It was funny.
The guy kept coming up. Wow.
Yeah, he's bringing another 50, and it was, no, we don't know it. Then all of a sudden, doo doo doo. Richard just breaks into the tune, you know.
That's pretty neat. Tell the people a little bit about you guys not having any amps up here.
Oh yeah. We run everything directly through the PA, through the mains. Without that gives us more control over our sound. You don't have the guitar player and the bass player fighting over volume. One guy doesn't turn up, and then the other guy turns up, and then, you know, if you're turning up, you're fixing the mix because it's coming out front. We have complete control over it. So we're miking all the drums except the bass drum. We're triggering it through a D4, and that's all Mike's job. He does a pretty good job. All the vocals are gated, and there's a compression on every single mic, every vocal mic. So sometimes when people come up and they sing and they're really soft, it's like they don't, you know, the gate won't turn over. It's like you can't hear them. You know, you got to sing, you know, if you're going to be heard. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it makes it easier.
And when did you turn to this style? I mean, when did you actually turn to this kind of a setup? You know, I think Mike's pretty much done that all along. All along?
Yeah, since I've known him. But Mike joined the band around 1990, so 90, 91, somewhere in there. So when he came in, it wasn't that way, but as things changed and he sort of took over the PA, so it was an evolution, but I'm not quite sure. Early 90s, I would say, you know.
I mean, with the setup that you have now?
Right, yeah, it was just started like in the early 90s.
It
probably,
did?
Yeah. Early 90s, something. You have to ask him for sure.
Well, I mean, the equipment has changed a lot since then.
Yeah, we're still using that dinosaur PA. I remember some guy came up to us and he looks at our PA, he looks up at it, he looks down, he looks at me, he goes, well, I can tell you one thing, it's paid for. You know, we got the giant horns and, you know. But, I mean, that's all we have. Those are our speakers. And both of those guys wear headphones. So that's another reason.
They've encouraged me to get some. I already got them.
Yeah, I know. You told me that. Did you try them? How do you like them?
I'm getting used to them.
Yeah, it does take some getting used to.
It does, because it isolates everything pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm tweaking it. But
yeah,
they got me started on that, and I'm going to get used to it. It's much nicer than wearing big old...
yeah, I don't wear them because somebody's got to hear if something goes wrong, and I just feel like I don't feel the connection with the audience. I feel like I'm separated from them when they're in there, but they sound great when I wear them.
It's
you know,
amazing.
We did some gig over in Ybor City last year, and they had some bar across the street. I mean, we're up and down the street. Have you ever been there? You could just, like, there's one bar, one band right after this. You could just walk up and down the street, Ybor City, and see, you know, every kind of band you can think of. One bar's got a reggae band, next bar's blues, top 40. You just go up and down the street and see everything. Well, across the street they had some boom boom disco thing with a bunch of chicks standing out on the street trying to get guys in there in bikinis and stuff. And I mean, it was so loud, boom boom boom. I couldn't hear what it was doing. So he says, well, let me give you the headphones. Okay, so I put the headphones in. It was like, wow, this is really great. You know, but I can't do it all the time. Because it, like I say, I lose that feel of the audience and the you know, the atmosphere that's going on in the rooms.
You're used to not having headphones.
Right, and sometimes people come up and want to talk to them, and it's difficult for them. Chris will have to pop his out in order to hear, you know, what they're saying, and Mike pretty much has to do the same, you know. So,
I get you.
But they still come up and talk to them. They never come because I'm in the back. You know, nobody gets up on stage and walks around and talk to me. You know, so I'm kind of isolated from that anyway. That's just, I guess, that's the nature of the beast. They can't get away from that. You know.
We're going to take one more short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. We're going to do the end of the show coming up with Tim Snell here from Spanks. We're back. Look, I want to tell you, you think you watch a video while we're taking a break. We're not taking a break. The stories are just going and going on, and we're back on the air, and we just finished 7 stories on the break.
The ones we can't tell on the air.
Yeah, we can't tell you about the ones on the break, about the caravel. Oh, was it? Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this. At the Caravel, back in the old days, when I was a little kid, I never had one of them cabaret cards. I just had like a note from my parents or something like that. And I had to sit at the corner, like by the door. And they had these phones with like 3 numbers. You could dial like the booths, right? Girls are nasty. I'm telling you, man. They used to say the weirdest stuff because I was in the last booth on the end. And they'd call me up and mess with the little kid, I tell you. It was crazy.
Oh, my God. Yeah, well, those were the good old days back Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, back at Lee Karen. Remember the Pink Elephant?
Yep.
I remember that. Yeah.
We used to have competition with, I can't think of the name of the coconuts.
Yeah, remember Pillow Talk Lounge? Do you remember the Pillow Talk?
I think I do.
God, I can't remember that guy's name. Everybody used to hate him. They ran the place. I don't remember. The Pillow Talk Lounge. What?
I know that name.
I don't know. I can't remember his name. I remember I used to see a lot of bands play there. Everybody from the old days went through there, I think.
And the club by the Ace Hardware was a big club back then.
Brassies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, they used to have a lot of bands coming in at Brassies.
Yeah, I saw a lot of bands there. Average White Band played there like 4 times, and they packed that place every single time, man.
That used to be hot. I remember the last time I heard anybody play in there was Joan Jett.
No kidding. Yeah.
And that was near the end when it was getting just about done.
Yeah, I could go through a list of names of people I saw play there, man.
That building's still there, isn't it?
It's the library, isn't it?
Yeah.
They tore it down and built the library.
A lot of good places up there.
That's right.
But I can't understand why we didn't hire Spanks back then at Dockside.
Well,
I'm going to have to ask Dana that someday. Yeah. So we're up to date now. We're right here in Melbourne in 1919.
We're reaching the 21st century slowly.
2013. We're talking back in the 80s.
Yeah, 70s, 80s. We've been all over the place, jumping all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah. We've been going all over. You've been in Georgia, Michigan, Massachusetts. I missed that. That was a great gig. I can't believe you're up. When was that again, though, in Massachusetts?
That was 75.
See, I was there.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
In Pittsfield then, and I was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang it.
Just think it. The Beatles were in Germany when I was there. I didn't see them either. So.
The Beatles were in Germany.
Yeah, they played.
Oh, when you were there in Germany.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And they were there at that time. I remember seeing a lot of bands at the Teen Club on the bass there, and everybody had a Beatle haircut. Everybody had a Beatle haircut,
Yeah. Stones.
Except me, I was too young.
I couldn't have them. My mom said, "You're not getting one of them haircuts."
Yeah. My dad was real military, but he couldn't do anything about it.
So they came down to Florida for a couple of weeks, and I was old enough to stay home. And so I went out and bought my Beatle boots.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, without them home, so I got away with it.
So did you hide them, or what'd you do? Take them out and then put them on?
I hid them for a while.
Yeah.
I hid them for a while, but
they kind of eased into it.
They were so cool, those boots.
My parents bought my first Beatle records for me when I was in 2nd grade in Germany, and I had like on the original label Swan and was She Loves You, and VJ was Love Me Do. I wish I had those today. They're probably worth a couple bucks,
Yeah. I was watching a TV show last night, one of those CSIs, and they were playing the music. The background music was the Stones, and it was Rainbow. I don't know if you remember that. She's a Rainbow.
What album was that on?
It was a psychedelic type.
I was going to say Satanic Majesty's Request or something.
Oh, but it's one of their first.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way back when they first came out, and it was on their first or second or third album or whatever. And I heard it, and I haven't heard it in like 50 years. You know, and I heard it, and I'm going, I know that song, but I haven't heard it in so long. And it was really kind of neat. I know She's a Rainbow, I think is the name of the song.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
color,
kind of familiar
the color
with
of her hair. She's a rainbow, you know.
Yeah, I know the
She
song.
comes in colors. Yeah, man. I'll tell you, when I heard that, I was like, whoa, what? Some of the songs they had back then was incredible.
I think that's why I'm kind of a hook guy. I like songs with a hook in them, you know. That formula, it's like, so those 3-minute songs, 2 verses.
So who's your favorite band?
I don't really have a favorite band, but
not really a favorite one?
No, I mean, I like, here's the thing, I like a little bit of everything.
Right.
Just not a lot of one thing.
Right.
But if you go back, you have to say the Beatles, you know, because, I mean, they were there in the beginning for me, but, you know, I liked, as far as drummers, I liked Hal Blaine, but I didn't know who that was, you know, but I mean, he was on all those records I was listening to, and, you know.
Did you remember Sandy Nelson?
Yeah, I remember Sandy Nelson. Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, he had albums. He had nice, cool albums out there.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
neat.
And Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich.
You
I
can't
mean,
miss
those guys. Buddy Rich is just the most phenomenal guy ever. You know, when I was in high school, there was a show at Melbourne Civic Auditorium, and I happened to be in the stage band at the time. Boy, was I bad! But I was in the stage band, and we opened a show that they played, and I got to stand like maybe 15, 20 feet off the stage behind him and watch him play. That was just like, that's probably one of the most awesome things I've ever done. And I mean, everybody, the whole band was, you know, all 20 kids were all standing right there, you know, watching Buddy Rich's band.
Tremendous.
And he was like right there.
I've bought so many of his DVDs.
Yeah.
They have DVDs out on him.
I just saw it recently. So I think it was on Facebook. Somebody played a little drum thing with Sammy Davis Jr. standing behind Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich trading licks, man. And that was really cool, you know?
In New York, they used to have the wars, the drum battles. And Buddy Rich would play an hour, and then Gene Krupa would come up and play an hour while Buddy Rich rested. And they would do it all night.
Yeah, wow.
And they would go...
well, I'm sure Louis Bellson was in there somewhere,
12 hours.
Huh? Louis Bellson was probably in there somewhere, too. I mean...
Amazing.
Yeah.
But I watched some of the ones today with Lang. Jeff, I think is it Jeff Lang? Thomas Lang. Thank you. Oh my God, phenomenal drummer, and Portnoy.
Oh yeah. Portnoy, he's killer.
It's and Dream Theater, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, they're incredible. I've never seen drummers like that.
I know. I listen to Dream Theater and I go,
how can you?
Wasn't that like 4 songs in one? You know, it's like they could have broke that up and had like.
They like Portnoy's got a set in front of him and he hits them perfectly, everything, and and changes up, and I mean, how the heck?
He's in a new band called, I don't know how new it is, but Adrenaline Mob. That's his new thing that he's doing now. I just saw Black Sabbath in West Palm Beach.
You just went down there.
And the guy from Rage Against the Machine, I don't know his name, but he was
Hi,
playing
Wayne.
with them.
Wayne's watching.
Is he? Oh, hey, Wayne.
Yeah,
hey, dude. That's my bro, man.
Yep.
Wayne. Wayne went with me. We went together. We're going to see a band called Camelot in September. Yeah, me and Wayne, we go to concerts together frequently.
As I saw the post, we're in Jupiter now.
Yeah, we're on the way down.
We're in Jupiter now. We'll be there.
Yeah, I tell you, Wayne's turned me on to a lot of music. You know, a lot of stuff. Influences today would probably be my son and Wayne. Otherwise, I wouldn't know about a lot of new bands. You know, like our son's. He didn't turn me on to them today, but one of the bands that I've been listening to lately that I kind of like is they're called Rise Against. You heard them?
No.
It's a new band. They're pretty good, you know. I mean, some of the stuff is, you know, I don't like I say, I can't sit and listen to a whole album of just about anybody, you know. But I can pick and choose and find like a little medley of songs that I really like on just about anybody, you know. So, and they're one of those bands. I like them. I like Avenged Sevenfold. It's one of the newer bands. Yep. You know, they're a good band. And I believe when I saw them, Portnoy was playing with them. I think I saw them live. That's my son, one of my son's bands. You know, he's forced me to go. Not forced me to go, but you know, we've gone to see some of these bands. You know, And I wouldn't, like I say, I wouldn't have a 5-finger death punch, you know. And I saw Rob Zombie. He hated Rob Zombie, and I thought he was great.
I haven't heard that of him in a while.
Yeah, well, it's the thing about that, it was an extravaganza. You know, it was a big show. And I like that, you know. I mean, it's you're there. Go out there to entertain the people, you know. And that's what he does.
Good. Yep.
So.
All right, where's Spanks playing next?
Friday night we're at HD Roadhouse. Barry knows that place well. And
Cool place.
Saturday, Earl's Hideaway, one of our favorite spots.
Another cool
and then
place.
Sunday we're playing with you at the Sam Jam.
Sam Jam 6.
Which at 7 o'clock we're going to have a toast for our good friend Tony, who passed away this
Yeah,
week.
God bless Tony.
So Tony and I were roommates in the 70s. We got stuck together because we both were the loudest snorers, so we were always in the room. The other guys would laugh because they would be in the next room in the hotel and they could hear us, you know, hear us snoring in the other room. So,
so there's a lineup for Spanks this weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Say it again.
HD Roadhouse on Friday, Earl's Hideaway Saturday, Sam Jam on Sunday.
There you go. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It was a blast.
I was really glad to have you come
I
down.
could talk some more, you know. I'm never at a
more-
loss for words.
There's more shows. There's Joey's show. We'll get you on Joey's show, too.
Cool. Chris Dude has 2 sayings. The one he says out loud, "No, please tell me." And the other one he's saying to himself, "God, will he ever shut up?" Oh, in the car, you know, he says, "Man, he never shuts up." And it's, you know, I resembled that remark.
There you go.
You know?
I love it. Great to have you as a guest tonight.
Thank
Great
you.
Drummer, Spanks Band, Tim Snell right here. And thanks for watching, Inside the Soundwave, show number 47 tonight. We're going on 1 year in a couple of weeks. Another 5 weeks will be 1 year.
Wow. Congratulations.
We're going to have a party that one. Well, maybe we'll invite you back for that one.
Hey, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I know you'll come.
Yeah, oh yeah, heck yeah, I'll be here.
Maybe we can get...
We should have a drumathon. How about that?
we should get a bunch of drummers here for
That'd be
show.
fun, yeah.
Not a bad idea. Okay. Thanks, folks. God bless. Have a good weekend. Stay out of the heat if you can try. It's not easy here in Florida. God bless. Take care. See you next Thursday at 7 p.m. And I think I have somebody by the name of David Curry Fowler from Cocoa Beach. Watch the show. Take care.